Question 9. Question 9. The average annual precipitation for a large Midwest city is 30.85 inches with so this is average, so this is mean. 30.85 is the mean. Standard deviation is 3.6 inches, so standard deviation sigma is 3.6 inches. Assume the variable is normally distributed. A, find the probability that n equal 1, randomly select month will have less than 30 inches. So looking for probability of x less than 30. So we need to figure out this 30 corresponding z-score, how much. So we plug into this z formula. Z equal x minus mean over sigma. N equal 1. So divided by square root of 1. That's 1. So x equal 30, plug in. Minus mean is 30.85, plug in. Standard deviation is 3.6, plug in. Then this subtraction is negative 0.85 divided by 3.6 equal negative 0.24. And less than 30 inches, probability of x less than 30 inches is equal probability of the corresponding x transfer to z. 30 transfer to the z. Z score is negative 0.24, so it's corresponding to z is less than negative 0.24. The two equal. Then that is looking for this z is to the left of 0. This is z. To the left of 0 is negative 0.24. Looking for this area. Now look at the table. Negative 0.24. It's here. Negative 0.24. Now on the top, negative 0.20, negative 0.21, negative 0.22, negative 0.23, negative 0.24, which is this one. This one go down to negative to the on the left is negative 0.24, which is intersection is this one. So it's 0.4052. So it's to the left. This area is a 40.52%. The probability of a randomly selected month will have less than 30 inches is 40.52%. And the B is for sample mean. And find the probability that the mean of a random selected of 32 months. A is n equal 1 month. And the B, question B, n equals 32. This n equals 32. If the n equal 1, this just the square root is 1. Sigma divided by 1 is just the sigma. So n equal 1. So here is when n equal 1, you divide it by square root of n, which is square root of 1 is still this sigma. Now here, we use central limit theorem. We divide it by square root of n. N is 32. So when x is less than 30 inches, so this is looking for the probability when x is less than 30 inches is equal to probability of z score. Now z score, we have to use this divided by square root of n formula to do, because n is normal 1 is 32. So x less than 30, so x use 30 plug in, minus mean is 30.85, and divided by standard deviation is 3.6 over square root of n is 32 months. Plug it in. Then you this minus this is negative 0.85 divided by 3.6. This reciprocal times square root of 32, you will get negative 1.34. So probability when x is less than 30 is equal probability when the z-score, because we use x equals 30, so we got z-score is a negative 1.34. So when 30, this corresponding is a negative 1.34. So it's the same as the probability z less than negative 1.34. And probability is how much? Negative 1.34. So we look at the table, negative 1.3 here. Negative 1.3. Oh, this one. Negative 1.3. Negative 1.30. Negative 1.31. Negative 1.32. Negative 1.33, negative 1.34, intersection, this one. Negative 1.34, this is the probability, 0.0901. It's a 9.01%. For only 1 month, probability is a 40.52%. If for 30 months, probability becomes smaller, much smaller, 9.01%. That's for the sample mean. Then next question, question 10, A and B. Question 10, in a survey, 55% of the voters support a particular referendum. If P is 55%, so P is 0.55. If 50 voters are chosen at random, so N equals 50, and find the mean and the standard deviation for the number of votes who support the referendum. So this is a binomial distribution. Binomial distribution is a binomial, is two outcomes. One is a success, one is a fail. So for this case, success probability is a 50%. Q is a failure. Q equal 1 minus P equal 1 minus 0.55 is 0.45. Is a two case, P and Q. So this is a binomial distribution. Binomial distribution, the mean is N times P. So here N is 50, P is 0.55. Time together is 27.5 voters. Average is 27.5 voters. Have 50 voters. There are 55% vote support a particular referendum. So have 27.5 voters support particular referendum. And the standard deviation, variance is variance square equal NPQ. N is 50, P is 0.55, Q is 0.45. Time together is 12.375. Take square root is a standard deviation. Take square root, get 3.5178 and round to 4 decimal digits. This is 1, so you truncate and get 3.5178 voters is the standard deviation. And the next one, using the normal to approximate and correct for continuity. Now, what is the probability that more than 30 voters support the referendum? So want to get 30 voters. 30 voters, since this is a probability, we're looking for probability of X greater than 30.5. Become continuity, consider continuity. 30, we have to consider as continuity, we have to go to the right, more than 30. So more than 30, that's not including 30. So we have to move a little bit to the right. That will not including 30. So we're looking for probability of x greater than 30.5. And then we have to figure out 30.5 transfer to z-score. X is 30.5 minus the mean. We figure out over here, 27.5. Standard deviation is the square root of 12.375, square root of this variance. Then you figure out is 0.8528 and round it to 2 decimal digits. Because on the table, z-score is only 2 decimal digits. So get 0.85. So this is 2, less than 5, you truncate, get 0.85. So we are looking for probability of x greater than 30.5. This is what we call continuity. We do to the right, 0.5. 30.5, figure out here, x use 30.5, plug in, get corresponding z-score is 0.85. So this 30.5 translate to z-score is 0.85. So equal to probability of z greater than 0.85. So since we are looking for, this is z to the right is positive, 0.85. And looking for more than that, we are looking for this area. And since the table only given you this area, so it's the same as the total under the curve. Total probability is 1 minus probability of left area. So it's a minus probability of z less than 0.85 minus this area. So you look at the table, 0.85. You have to go to the positive sides. Another side is positive. Positive sides, this z-score equal positive 0.85 here. 0.85, 0.85 here, 5. 0.85 is going to be this one. That's this area. When z is equal 0.85, this to the left area is 0.8023. So to the left is this area is 0.8023. And we are looking for to the right. Greater than is to the right. So it's 1 minus 0.8023. You got this greater than. So it's 19.77%. So this you have to consider the continuity. And looking for more than 30, consider to continuity. You have to figure out the x is more than 30.5. More than 35, 30.5. And the next one, it's women comprise 80.3%. So P is 0.803. Move decimal to the left 2 positions, 0.8803. That's the P of all elementary school teachers. So 80.3% are women. In a random sample of 300 elementary school teachers, so N equals 300. Elementary school teacher has 300. What is the probability that less than 3/4 are women? One looking for total 300 has 3/4 are women. 3/4 are women. So this is going to be a binomial distribution also, because either women or men, either female or male. So we use figure out binomial distribution. The mean is equal N times P. N is 300 times for the women probability is 0.803. 0.803. Time together have 240.9 female teacher. Standard deviation is the square root of NPQ. N is for binomial distribution, standard deviation formula. N is 300, P is 0.83. Q is 1 minus 0.803. Tying together, take square root, is 6.89. 6.89 is the standard deviation. Then X, and here looking for less than. So figure out X is less than 3/4 are women. So total is 300 times 3/4. Tying together is 225 women. And we're looking for probability of less than 225 are women. Less than. So in order to not including 225, less than 225. So we are looking for probability of X less than 225. That's not including 225. In order to correct for continuity, we find the probability of X less than 224.5. That will not include 225. Let's go left a little bit. 0.5. This minus 0.5 got 224.5. So we're looking for this probability. And looking for this probability, which is we're looking for X less than 224.5. And we need to figure out 224.5, the z-score, how much. So X in the z-score formula, X use 224.5 minus mean. Mean we figure out here is 240.9 over standard deviation. Standard deviation is here. I use more decimal digits, more accurate. So use this one, 6.88892. Then divided, use calculate, get negative 2.38. So 224.5 corresponding to z-score is negative 2.38. So the two are equal. You less than 224.5 is same as the probability z-score less than negative 2.38. Negative 2.38, look at the table, negative 2. Use negative side, negative 2 here, negative 2.38 here, negative 2.38, 8 it's here, negative 2.38, so probability is this, 0.0087. So it's a 0.0087. It's very small, 0.87%. What is the probability that less than 3/4 are women? Probability is very, very small, 0.87%, because mostly are women. 3/4 is 75%. Less than 75% are women. Probability is very small, 0.87%, because here say 80.3% are women, 83.3% are women. So it's less than 75, 3/4 is 75% are women. The probability is very small, 0.87%.